name is Michelle Downham. This is my informative speech for my speech class. It's regarding my year, month, and day of my birth, which is January 17th, 1980. Makes me 35 years old, so this is going back a little bit. 1980 was a leap year, which occurs every 4 years. It adds an extra day into February 29th. So had I been born on February 29th, I would be a total of 8. Next year I would be 9, which is always weird. My friend's dad had a birthday on leap day, and they always celebrated by making him 1 year older every 4, so it's kind of funny. The price of gas was $1.19, which isn't too much off from what we're at right now. I think I paid $2.25 or something today. Of course, we all remember 10, 15 years ago when the prices skyrocketed because of the war and everything, and I'm sure tons of other things that I'm unaware of, but it's really nice to spend 30, 35 bucks and fill my tank and go on my way, as opposed to 40 for a quarter tank. Ronald Reagan became president in 1980. Not many people my age know, I don't think, but he was a major film star in the 1940s and 50s. He made quite a few movies. He was also referenced by Michael J. Fox in the first Back to the Future movie in one of the scenes where he mentioned that he was going to be president, and the family thought it was ridiculous that a movie star could become president. So I always find that amusing. That's a nice, fun part about those movies. They did a really good job with that. One of the chart-topping singles on the Billboard is Michael Jackson, Rock With You. That was one of the first videos as well, I believe, because MTV came out right around like late 70s, early 80s as well, and started becoming popular. Michael Jackson, of course, went on to be the famed king of pop, tragically dying in 2009 by an overdose of benzos and propofol, which is a sedative, a hypnotic, really. Which got the propofol all on the scene. I'm a nurse, so I've dealt with propofol for many, many years, understand how to use it, blah, blah, blah. So it was odd and strangely satisfying that the doctor that was administering it to him inappropriately was convicted and now serving jail time for his murder, so appropriately so. One of the famous commercials that is still famous today, in my opinion, is, pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? Which is a mustard commercial, and they used British or English people in order to advertise the Grey Poupon as an upscale to French's mustard or English mustard, whatnot. And it's been dubbed and spoofed so many different times that it still keeps it current, in my opinion. Another popular TV show was Dallas at that time, and the famous snafu of Who Shot JR, which is a wonderful marketing scheme, in my opinion. Got everybody really interested and invested in that show. I honestly cannot tell you who shot JR. No idea. Never researched it, never really watched the show and went back and no, so I don't know. So I have no idea who shot JR. As far as the Super Bowl ads, in 1980, an ad was $222,000, excuse me, as opposed to the $4.5 million this past year's Super Bowl ads, and for a 30-second stint, which is absolutely astronomical. And quite frankly, I don't think they were that good. I watched the Super Bowl primarily for the commercials, and it's boring. Except for the Clydesdale one. Everybody loved the Clydesdale one with the puppy. So I'm a sucker. It got me too. Mount St. Helens erupted. It hadn't erupted in hundreds of years, and it erupted in Washington, caused an enormous plume that is famous in pictures, absolutely. The Voyager 1 was actually sent out to Saturn and was able to fire back pictures of Saturn, proving that there was a moon called Janus circling it, orbiting it, thank you, orbiting it. What else? John Lennon died. He didn't die, he was murdered, let's be honest. He was outside of his New York apartment, and one of his fans murdered him. And who knows why? I don't think anybody will ever know why, but John Lennon, of course, being the famous, one of the famous 4 members of the Beatles. The clown killer, John Wayne Gacy, was captured and sentenced to death for the murder of 33 or more, potentially more, boys and young men. And I think it was I can't remember if it was Boston or California, but John Wayne Gacy's thing was he likes to strangle them and then bury him underneath his house because he didn't have a basement. He just had a crawl space. So I can only imagine what kind of stench 33 or more bodies created, but gross. Next, Japan. Of course, they invented many wonderful things, but in 1980 they invented the first camcorder and fax machine. My first memory of the fax machine is on commercials and TV shows, and sometimes movies, but mainly commercial and TV shows, where somebody in an office tries to fax something, and then it starts to eat the memo, and then they grab the memo in a panic and try to yank it out of the machine to save it, which created a little bit of a fear with fax machines, of course, but they've come a long, long way. We actually still use them at work, which is strange, but you would think there would be a computerized way to order like meals or report to floors when I transfer patients to different floors out of the ER. So, but no, that's a process that we've adopted, so we're still sticking with it years and years later. Another invention that came out on the market is Post-it notes. Post-it notes created by 3M. Who knew that would be such a huge deal? I actually have some on my counter as we speak, holding some of my information for grocery lists, naturally. But yeah, they have invented and reinvented themselves over the years, keeping themselves current, so it's a wonderful business, actually. Very smart. Other famous people born in 1980. Macaulay Culkin, famous actor from the Home Alone series. Unfortunately, he grew up and got a little troubled. Seems like all the teen actors have a little troubled period there, but he seems to have straightened out and has a wife and a family now, and is an upstanding citizen as far as I know. Better than Lindsay Lohan, anyway. Another person is Jessica Simpson, who's a pop star and teen. She doesn't really do much now. She used to have a couple shows on MTV with her then husband, Nick Lachey, who's also a singer of a band, I can't remember that one, not important. So, one of her famous things that I always remember, she has great shoes, but also she thought chicken of the sea was chicken, and refused to believe that it was tuna, one of the infamous blonde moments of my generation, anyway. But that's about it. That's a couple fun facts from the year and date of my birth. Thank you.